In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you a multiple choice quiz for Android and iOS that was built using the Flutter framework. This quiz will have 3 screens. The first screen to select your quiz, the second screen is for the actual quiz, and the last screen is for the summary. The quiz will have an image, a question, 4 choices, and a button to end the quiz. Jump right into IntelliJ and create a new Flutter project. Delete the boilerplate code. Create a directory to store the images. We can delete the widget test file. To use these images, we must add a few lines of code in our pubspec.yml file. In pubspec, add a section named Assets directly under Uses Material Design. It is very important that these sections line up because if they don't, you may run into errors. Go on a new line and hit Tab, dash, space, images, / followed by the file name. So it will be alligator.jpg for the first file. Do this for the rest of the image files. Make sure that you have the correct extension. Once you're finished, save the file and hit Packages Get in the top right corner of the window. Go to the main.dart file, and we need to create the main method which serves as an entry point to our app. We will call runApp and pass in a new material app, and for our home parameter we will create a new class called Animal Quiz, and we want this to be a stateful widget. We add the missing overrides and return a new Animal Quiz state class. We must create this class and extend state and pass in Animal Quiz. We're going to return a new scaffold, and this gives us access to the app bar, which allows us to set a title and a background color for the app bar. We can run it and see how it looks. If you want to add margin to widgets, the best thing to do is place them in a container. That way, the container will have margin all around. Inside of this container, we will add a column and we will set the cross-axis alignment to stretch because we want to place our buttons in here and we want them to stretch across the entire screen. We can set the main axis alignment to center because we want our buttons to be in the center of the screen. We're going to place one button in this column, and it's going to be a material button. When this button is clicked, it should take you to the next screen. Right now, the button isn't going to do anything because we need to create a method. Let's call this method startQuiz and create it at the bottom of our class, and we need to call setState. Inside of setState, we're going to call Navigator.push and use that to navigate to a new screen. The documentation on Navigator.push can be found in the links below. And remember, in Flutter, a screen can be represented by a class. We need to create a class called Quiz1. You can add it to this file, or you could create a new file and import it. We're going to go with the latter option and create quiz1.dart. Quiz1 is going to extend a stateful widget. Just right-click to add the override and we want to return quiz1 state. Right-click on the error to create the class and extend state. Pass in quiz1 and add the missing override. This time, we're going to return WillPopScope. This class allows you to disable the back button. We want this button disabled because we don't want the user to return to the screen with the quiz once it has been completed and allow the user to attempt to increase their score. WillPopScope will have a scaffold as a child. The body will have a container. This allows us to add margin to our layout. Inside of the container, we will have a column. They can have multiple widgets, and this is where we will place our text widgets, image widgets, and button widgets. We are first going to create some padding because we don't want our text widgets to be touching the top of the screen. We will create a simple text widget which displays the word hi to see how it positions on the screen. We are going to pause for a bit and create our animal class. This will contain the images, the questions, the multiple choices, and the correct answers. Once we are finished with that, we need to create some variables. We are going to have a variable that stores the final score, and we will set the initial value to 0. We will create a variable for the question number and set that to 0 as well. Finally, we will create a variable to hold our quiz object. Let's get rid of the text field that we created earlier, and let's create a new container. Inside of this container, we would want to create a row. This row will have two text fields. The first one will tell you which question you are on, and the second one will tell you your score. We are using the raw values in our text. We can achieve this by placing the $sign in front of the variable name. We can use dot notation to access the properties of our quiz object. So we can get the length of the quiz by using quiz.questions.length. This should return an integer value. Next, we are going to add some padding followed by the image. The image asset property requires a string which describes the location of the image. Run the app to see how it looks. If you would like to adjust the size of the image, you can modify the height and width properties. Add some more padding under the image and add a text widget to hold the question. Remember that we are using the dot notation syntax to access the values in our quiz object. We are going to have a total of 4 buttons for the choices. We can place 2 buttons side by side in a row. We will have rows with 2 buttons each. Each button is going to be a material button. We can make it green and make the text white. With material buttons, it's possible for you to assign a minimum width. The text for the first button is going to reference choices in our quiz object in the first list at index 0. Remember, index 0 is the first item in a list. We are going to create a method called updateQuestion at the bottom of our class. we need to place the method body inside of setState because we are attempting to change the state of our app. The first thing that we need to do is to perform a check to see if we are on the last question. The last question will have a question number that is equivalent to the number of items in the array minus 1. When we get to the last question, we are going to use Navigator.push to go to the next screen. We also want to push some data contained in our score variable. We will have to create a constructor in the summary class so that this can happen. In the else clause, we will choose to just update the question number. Let's create a class called Summary and extend Stateless widget. Right-click on the name of the class to add the missing override. At the top of the class, let's create a variable to hold the score, and let's create a constructor. In the constructor, we're going to make the score a required property. Once this is done, the error from our update question method should go away. Let's go back to our summary method and return a WillPopScope widget. Using this widget disables the Android back button. On WillPop can be set to an asynchronous anonymous function that returns false. The shell can be set to a scaffold. Let's add a text field to the body of our app. Go to our quiz1state class and look for button 1. In our onPressed, we will create an anonymous function. It will check to see if our choice is equal to our answer. If it is, it will print correct to the console, and if it is wrong, it will print wrong to the console. Then we can call update question. Let's run our app with those two buttons and see what happens. You will see that when we run the app and when we get to the last question, it goes to the summary page, which shows a screen that says hi. Let's add the rest of the buttons. We just need to copy and paste the first row of buttons. For buttons 3 and 4, we just need to pass in the correct index number. And it's only now that after looking at this code, I could have written it in less lines because I have repeated myself 3 times to be exact. Maybe I will update this code and paste a link in a gist. We need some padding between the rows, but you can see that all buttons are working as expected. Let's create another method called resetQuiz. Once again, we will have to call setState. In this method, we're going to call Navigator.pop to close the current screen, and we're going to set the final score to 0, and we're going to set the question number to 0. Create a container to hold a material button. Set the alignment to bottom center. Give it a minimum width of 240.0. In the onPressed, call resetQuiz. Add some text and add custom styling. Make sure that you add a background color or your button may not show up, especially if you set the text color to white. Let's go to the summary class and create another container. Inside of this container, add a column. we're going to add two widgets to the column. One is going to be a text that displays the final score, and the other is going to be a button that will take you back to the start of the quiz. The button is going to be a material button, and we're going to make it red like the quit button. In the onPressed, we're going to create an anonymous function, and we're going to set the question number to 0, the final score to 0, and we're going to pop the current screen. The button text will just be reset quiz, and you can customize the button to suit you. This isn't the only way to create a multiple choice quiz, but this is one way. And if you enjoyed the video, hit like, share, or subscribe, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.